they'll
Yeah,
prove me wrong by making to the
exactly.
playoffs and winning the title. So
Yeah, you can't write them off. What's the relevance of playing 100 when it's not a format that is recognized?
welcome to Sri Lankan Cricket Podcast with Vida and Bora, and this episode is sponsored by Four Pillars Gin. A quick update about the situation in Sri Lanka. Things hasn't changed at all, and the president has asked all the parties to work with him for a solution. And we are all waiting for a good news. So, I mean, I've been checking my phone and the news websites and Twitter for any updates for the last few days, but basically nothing. There's no new developments as yet, isn't it, Bora?
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot developing. We've gone to IMF, come back, want to debt restructure, but not a lot of changes being announced to say how the government's going to find revenue to start paying debt. So in that aspect, it's nothing's changed. It's like a hopefully time will heal and if people will forget and go back to a normal life is what's on the agenda. But there's a strong movement happening in Sri Lanka who wants this change and are pushing for it. We've seen in the media and with what's happening. So I mean, everyone's wish is for a change, for a better setup, and having a normalcy, life going back to normalcy. So thoughts and prayers still with everyone out there, wishing for a change. Whilst we are back here doing an episode and hopefully can contribute in some sort of way to get a bit of change out there.
I agree with you, Bora. It's not a problem where we can kick the can down the road and hoping things will go away. It's something we have to deal with. The sooner we come up with a solution, it'll be better for us because people are suffering. We are thinking about you, and kudos to everyone who has taken a stance to come out and show their disappointment, and we'll see a solution soon. Before we get into the episode, I want to remind you again about the competition we are running on our social media with Four Pillars Gin. You have a chance to win a bottle of Four Pillars Gin. All you have to do is like the competition post on any of our social media, and give us a follow, and give a follow to Four Pillars Gin, and tag one of your friends, and we will announce the winner on 15th of May. This is the second episode we are recording this week. How are you doing, Bora?
Yeah, doing good. Keen to get back straight into discussing a bit more cricket. I think a lot of things have been changed over these few days. Few appointments and also cricket happening in India with the IPL. So looking forward to having a quick discussion on those areas.
We have a new captain appointed for England cricket team and a new director of cricket as well. Australia has announced, well, they are sending 4 teams, including
The
an
help in Sri
Australia A
Lanka.
team. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the Victoria Men's Premier Award ceremony, and our very own Ruanta Kallepota has made the team of the year. This was his first year playing Premier Cricket, and it's a big achievement for him. Earlier in the year, he played for Victoria Seconds team as well, so he's doing really well in Victoria Premier Cricket. Shall we start with England's new captain, Bora? Ben Stokes announced as the England's new captain. I mean, it was inevitable, I think, because there was no one else to take up that job, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right. Because the people they were thinking about hadn't secured a spot. So Joe Root, he was carrying the English team on his shoulders. So once he's stepped out of being, didn't want to do the captains anymore, they had to look for someone. Ben Stokes seems to be the choice or the person they have, a guy I think entire England setup looks up to. Um, I think it came about mainly with the appointment of Rob Key into the director of cricket role. And straight away, like for him, I think top on his list was to appoint the national captain. I think next up, they probably are shortlisting or will be appointing who the head coach is. I think top of his list is let's steady the team by appointing a captain, so everyone knows who's the guy in control. So Ben Stokes has that opportunity. Looks like he's already made a statement where he said Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson has to be part of the squad. Looks like a captain taking a bit of ownership from the start. And Rob Key's next appointment, I think he's briefly told that the squads will be coaching roles will be split into two, red ball and white ball.
Yep.
So a bit of emphasis on that. So he is coming with a plan. I mean, Rob Key has been a cricket pundit or be a guy on Sky Sports
He's a
working.
he's a cricket
Yeah,
nut, isn't he?
yeah. He's
Yeah.
it's a guy I think who love being in that role with a lot of passion. I mean, whenever he's on the shows or with Sky Cricket, you see how much they love debating the game and
Yep.
how best they can take England cricket forward.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm sure he'll have good backing with the likes of Nasser Hussain and Michael Atherton giving him
Yep.
more input or direction. And Rob Key is one of those domestic legends out there. He's been in the system, captain his county setup, has had leadership roles, and I think commands that respect in the county circuit. And most of the players that he's played around with are in coaching roles, are in the county setup.
Yep.
So I think he has a better reach into that. And we feel I think he'll have a good bit of support to be able to push through, similar to how Andrew Strauss when he was in that role. So he's I think started his work straight away, and now with Ben Stokes settling in, they'll work together to a point who the captain is. I think there's my feeling is Gary Kirsten might be a front runner. He's I mean, proven performer, good coach, and someone that could work within England setup, I think.
No, you're right. When you mentioned the qualities you talked about, Rob Key, what I liked about him is that he's someone who's looking for solutions for us. He's not
Yeah,
someone like complain about what's going on and all that. Like you see people complain and they never show a solution. And Rob
yeah,
Key he's a guy who is open for conversations, and I always seen him as a guy who's looking for solutions. And as you said, he knows the county setup better than the international players who are not playing much county cricket in the English summer. So
yeah,
I think he has, I think he will have the support of the relevant parties to come up with a plan and implement that plan.
yeah,
So it's a good thing for county cricket. They need that. The county cricket was in the downward spiral for the last few years because everyone playing
yeah,
T20 cricket.
yeah. Some of the county games that are, I mean, it's on YouTube. You can watch a few of the games going live, and then the quality of it. Like we talk about Sri Lanka's domestic cricket being a bit
Yep.
weak. Sometimes England's domestic cricket. I mean, because of the conditions and the players they have, sometimes it looks below par with some of the skills that are on display.
Mm.
Um, since we're talking about the topic of county cricket, I just remember reading in the morning our own former coach Mickey Arthur. He's gone and started shooting a few bullets straight away. It's like I think uh, the topic was England. There's this 100 tournament fixtured in.
Yeah.
He goes on and says, "Hang on, why is a tournament like this fixtured in a county season when ICC there's no recognized tournament or anything or somewhere down the lines of that?" So he doesn't see is like what's the relevance of playing 100 when it's not a format that is recognized. Like if it was a T20 or a one day, something slightly different. So he's asking a few questions already.
Mm.
So um, uh, I just realized, okay,
No,
here
no.
Robbie's got another question to answer now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mickey is someone who will speak his mind, isn't he?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you will see, even when he was coaching Sri Lanka or Pakistan or any other international side, he he will show his emotions, not like other coaches. So
yeah,
that's the quality about Mickey. And he's raising a valid question, because this is a unique tournament, and
yeah,
no one else is playing 100 anywhere else in the
yeah,
world. And
yeah,
yeah, that's right. Like, why are you spending, time trying
yeah.
to play this tournament?
Yeah,
He's
no,
got,
no.
he's got a valid point.
He
But
likes, straight guy. He'll just question things. Why is it happening? And if he gets a fair answer, he'll go, "Yep, that's answer I was hoping for. Thanks for that," and he'll move on for the
yeah,
next thing.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Suranga Lakmal settling in with a couple. I see him getting his two first. Where it's
yeah.
lead to a batsman-friendly season at the moment,
Hmm.
where most of the guys are smacking hundreds for fun. So um,
He's been bowling lots of overs, Bora.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's been
he's getting his
basically it's
workload.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
uh,
checking the scores, and he's taken a wicket against Glamorgan.
yeah,
Um, but Labuschagne still batting on, 89 not out
yeah.
at the moment. Yeah, and I was checking the scores of Yorkshire's game where Dimuth is playing.
Oh yeah,
Hasn't got much. Yeah, it's good to see those two boys playing there. And in our social media, we're trying to keep a tally of Suranga Lakmal's wicket and wickets. He hasn't got up to 10 wickets yet, but he's a quality bowler. You know,
he'll cash in for the moment. He gets the ones and twos, and then open up with a
yes,
couple of
yes,
fifers. So
yeah,
uh, he'll settle in.
yeah. He's a seasoned campaigner. He knows how to take wickets, and he'll just, I always say this as a fast bowler. You have a strike rate, and if you're not getting wickets, um, you just keep bowling those maiden overs, and you'll get few wickets in a clump. So you
Yeah,
just wait for that, keep bowling well, and bowl those overs, and you'll get those wickets. Um, yes, and where should we go from England, Borat? Should we go to India? Talk about IPL. Um,
yeah. Happy for that, and then finish up on the home run at home. How
yeah,
we can
let's
help
do
Sri
that.
Lanka out.
Now, talking about IPL, Virat Kohli is having a horrid time in the IPL, not getting any runs, and at the moment he is batting well. He's nearly, I don't want to jinx this, but he's on 47
Yeah,
against Gujarat Titans. Finally, he's getting some runs. And yesterday, Dushmant bowled really well. He bowled 12 dot balls in its spell, and he has been bowling really well last few weeks. Panuka didn't get much in the last game, but we are heading, we're reaching that pointy end of the season where teams are fighting for a spot in those playoffs games.
yeah. I think front runners to, I mean, the team that is looking really good at the moment is the Lucknow Super Giants. They seem to be a good team throughout with some seasoned Indian players as well as the overseas coming good. Dushmant is playing there. Another reason why I say they'll be pretty good. I mean, he's bowling in the death overs, a problem that Sri Lanka struggle since Lasith Malinga's retired. So it's to see Dushmanta perform in a high performance environment of the IPL and doing well. It's a massive positive sign for Sri Lanka,
Yeah,
meaning we've just got to, I mean, our top three bowlers are playing key roles in those. I think we talked about it in the previous episode. So it's a matter of finding another variation into the tech where they can squeeze in another over to support
Mm.
Dushmant at the back. The way it stands is, I think Dushmanta's 4 overs, out of his 4, the two will be bank at to come at the death overs,
Yeah.
and the top 2 will probably be either one in early up and one through the middle, or 2 early up and 2 in the back end. So that's a plan. I mean, with the Sri Lankan setup, they'll try to go with that. But yeah, for me, the Lucknow Super Giants,
Mm.
they've got a slightly similar tone to the Chennai Super Kings, but
Yeah.
with Lucknow, they've got Quinton de Kock, Stoinis, Manish Pandey, then Dushmanta, KL Rao. They're doing roles in within their own area. So I'm following them. RCB, yes,
I that's that's what I was gonna get into. Like, I
yeah,
feel like you're supporting Lucknow.
yeah. I mean, because of the number of teams, RCB is there with Faf, the big captain in, and Vanidu's in that team, as well as the change they've managed to do.
Yeah.
Um, those are my 2 teams at the moment: RCB one and LSG. If you go like that, so
I think,
uh,
yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going for RCB, Bora.
yeah,
You know, remember
yeah,
last season, I was
yeah,
backing them, and I haven't changed this
yeah.
season. So
Yeah, true, true. I
mm,
was last year with Delhi with
you
Ricky
are,
Ponting's
yeah,
boys.
yeah,
They'll be there at the back end. They'll push for a spot. So still an open tournament. The amount of teams we are talking about, apart from Mumbai Indians. So,
yeah.
um,
Well,
but
I think Chennai mm, is struggling too, but
yeah,
they still have a chance mathematically, but it'll be really hard for them to make the playoffs. But knowing them, like they've won it more than any other team, so they'll
yeah,
prove me wrong by making to the
exactly.
playoffs and winning the title. So
Yeah, you can't write them off. The only thing I see is, I think Mumbai Indians are going to struggle for a period of time.
yes,
That's the feeling I have, because of when you go horribly wrong on an auction,
that
it's
they messed it
hard
up. They messed
to
it
it's
up.
hard to come back from it. I mean, hopefully they'll be able to turn it around next year, but I just have that feeling it's going to be hard, because next year they'll probably pick 1 or 2 players and keep building over 3-4 years to get there.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking about what you said about Jofra Archer. I
yeah,
can't believe they went for they could have gone for Dushmant Chamira.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they could have got him for cheap as well.
Easily, easily.
And Mahela knows better than anyone. Like he's
Yeah,
pretty good. Like, if he's doing what he's doing in international cricket,
yeah,
he'll do better in IPL. Mahela knows
yeah.
that. I don't know what went wrong there. I mean,
I was surprised that we didn't go for them initially. I'm not surprised that Mumbai Indians went for Jofraj and want to spend the big purse. They're like the
yeah,
Manchester United, where they'll make a marquee player, so you know they're the big spenders. They
yeah,
got that. Sometimes you got team owners in auction wanting to make a statement,
yeah,
and that takes the control out of Mahela's.
yep,
Can't do anything if the
yeah,
team owners are, yeah, I want to make a statement. I'll pay any money for this player, and it's a spur of the moment. You can't control that, and they probably under the guys in that team would have been looking at each other. What's this guy doing? Do we want to spend this much money? But they had no control of it. Like um, I think Sunrisers had Simon Katic, who after the auction
yeah.
decided to quit or resign because it didn't go the way he wanted it or whatnot. So um, surprising,
Uh,
like
Now this
that
is,
much.
I mean, you're spot on there. Like I'm thinking, like, team owners can dictate terms and bring in any player,
Yeah,
but end of the
yeah,
day, it's coach and the captain's job to win games. And if things go wrong, it's not the team owners who lose their job. It's
They'll be
somebody's
saying, they'll
captain
be
and the
asking the
coach.
question. Yeah. The thing this year with the IPL is, or could be social media, and the trend I've noticed over the last few years is the more you're seeing clips or videos or scenarios of what's happening in the IPL just to boost the franchise's popularity, income, sponsors
Especially
want
Rajasthan.
airtime. Yeah. So there are more, I mean, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, and whatnot. So um, when you're winning, it's all good. But when you're losing so many games, sometimes you don't want the camera close to you. It's just,
Yeah.
there's so much. Um, it's not an easy environment to be in. Number one, you're doubting each player's ability because you're losing as a group. So they've got a lot going on. I'm sure Mahela's working, extra time to get that group heading in the right way. But yeah, not the season they would have expected.
I mean, I think Mumbai is the most followed IPL
Yeah,
team in Sri
yeah,
Lanka,
yeah,
apart from Chennai, I think.
yeah. It has to be
Because
right. You got
we had
our
Malinga, we
Malik.
had
Yeah,
Jayasuriya, and
exactly.
yeah, and they did really well. And
Yes.
Mahela is the coach, and
Hmm.
it's really hard when you keep losing games to like that you're out of the tournament, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's not like international tournament where you get to go and play another series in a couple of months. It's once a year, so it's
Yeah.
I mean that they got some problems in that camp. The management and the senior playing group has to work really hard to keep that group together and come back strong
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. You're right. It's a likable team in Sri Lanka. Like even the guys like Sri Lankan legends played there, number one. So immediate following for that. But some of the Indian players they have, Sri Lankans do have a lot of respect for them and follow them, like the guys like Rohit Sharma, um, and whatnot, has played there. The guys who are good entertainers,
Yeah.
but they just missed a beat. They went with a young guy who they feel could be the next 3-4 years, who's going to be a huge performer for their
Mm,
team. Has let them down a bit this year.
yeah. That's the thing with young players, isn't it, Bora?
Yeah,
It's like a gamble. It
yeah,
can pay off. He might. I mean,
yeah,
he could have gone. Win the orange cap, but
exactly.
it's like investing, Bora. It's like investing in small cap company.
They would have gone with the Moneyball thing, small cap,
Yeah,
and trying to get a bit, but didn't work out. We were talking about a bit of failures and how things are reacting. I was watching the game, Sunrisers against GT, I think Gujarat Titans, the one where Rashid Khan plays, and
yeah, yeah.
Murali couldn't hold on to his disappointment. So, but I was lucky, like we were lucky, we played in a provinces in a one day
Yeah.
final. You know how exciting Murali
Oh
gets,
man.
little snips we've played with him. And when I saw it in the big stage, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that. And he gets excited. He can't control
That's
his
how
emotions.
he is. That's how he is.
Yeah.
Like,
He would have been the guy to go up and I mean, he would have let off a lot of steam, but he would have gone and spoken to the left arm fast bowler from South Africa. I can't remember his name.
yeah,
He would have
Johnson.
taken him out for dinner
Johnson.
and he would have
Yeah.
told him next time, this is how you play the game or whatnot. So, um, but so much emotions, it's hard to control, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what a game. I mean, that's the beauty of cricket. So.
Yeah. Oh, we can go on and talk about IPL all day, Bora, because a lot's been happening there.
Yeah.
I think we should move on to Australia tour of Sri Lanka, where
Yeah,
they
exciting.
have announced 4 squads to go to Sri Lanka, including Australia A. So they
Yeah,
have a test squad, a one-day squad, a T20 squad, and an Australia A squad. So basically, they want as many players in Sri Lanka. So if something happens or if a COVID situation comes or whatever the situation, I mean, especially the situation currently in Sri Lanka is not the best, and they must be thinking, we will have enough players in the island so we can pick pick a best team.
yeah, that's a. I was reading that seeing 4 teams, and I was surprised because number one, to take out the international, I mean the first 11, the A team going out there because Sri Lanka hasn't been playing a lot of A-team cricket. There
No.
hasn't been as a squad at all. And now to see there's a squad going there to Sri Lanka touring, that's a massive boost for the boys taking part. I mean, firstly, the Australian A team who's been selected, they'll be pretty keen to take that opportunity. For the Sri Lankans, first time seems to be a better opportunity, a lot more going for new names, players to show their skills as a first time opportunity. Because I can't remember when we last played an A-team series. So um,
Oh, it's been a while.
and the next thing, yeah, been a while. And the next thing is, if you take out our situation in Sri Lanka, 4 teams, that's going to be a large touring squad coming there. It's
Yeah,
going to help, contribute massively to the struggles Sri Lanka having
yeah,
with a bit of a revenue flow in. So the cricket board's doing their part to, bring in more uh, revenue into the country. I just hope, I don't know how prepared Sri Lanka are to welcome these teams and see what the country's situation is there to, what the government is there to support and facilitate that this tour goes ahead. Because
yeah.
I think for all reasons, it needs to go ahead and support and help. I mean, firstly, cricket
Mm,
comes back to watch and play the game, and economically it supports.
yeah. It's a strong team, Bora. It's a very strong team
Yeah,
because they did well in Pakistan as well. So
yeah,
Cummings, Ega, Scott Boland, Carey,
yeah,
Cameron Green, Hazelwood, Travis Head,
yeah,
Inglis, Khawaja, Labuschagne, Lyon, Mitch Marsh, Steve Smith, Stark, Swepson, and David Warner. That's a very strong test team. Yeah, and Finch to captain the one day and T20 teams with
yeah.
few changes in the 11s, but these boys will
Mm.
be in the island, so they can pick and choose. And if you look at the Australia A squad, they got Sean Abbott, um, Peter Hanscom. Remember him, Mora?
Yeah,
Played few test
he's
matches.
a he's another seasoned campaign and a leader out there. So
Yeah,
um, he's worked on his stance a bit
yeah.
more. Um,
Yeah, Marcus Harris, Nick Maddinson, another Test player who played
yeah,
alongside with Peter
yeah,
Hanscom. Yeah, Josh Phillip, the wicketkeeper, Matt Renshaw, another guy. We've
yeah.
seen
Richardson, the quick.
Jai
Uh,
Richardson. Yeah,
they've taken 3 spinners there, which have, you know how I like looking into the spinners when they
Epson.
announce the squad. Yeah. Um, they're taking 2 finger spinners,
Yeah,
Matthew Kuhnman and Todd Murphy. Todd
yep.
Murphy is a off spinner. This is a very young guy, raw guy,
Mm.
but he's doing well here in the circuit. And Matthew Kuhnman's been pretty good. He plays a bit of big bash cricket. That's how I got to see him, and look good. And Tanvir Sangha with his leg spin. So
Yeah,
those are 3 guys who will. that's Australia's next generation of spinners who they've identified. Can't wait to see what Sri Lanka is. Our squad's gonna look through.
Wow.
We don't
as
want
far as
any. Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, you want some exciting talent coming through now, and then
Yeah, I mean,
would Ashan Priyanjan be the Sri Lanka A captain another year going? I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's how it is in Sri Lanka, and at the moment, like it's all over the place. And what we know is they have appointed coaching staff for A team, emerging team, and under 19 team.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, the emerging team has a tour to England, so that'll be in June, July. So not sure who's gonna I think they announced a team for that as well, and I don't have the team with me at the moment. I'll read out the coaching appointments. Avish Gunawardena as the head coach of A team, Thilila Kannam as the assistant coach, Malinda Varnapura batting coach, Sajeev Veerakoon as the bowling coach, and Upul Chandana fielding coach. In the emerging team, Ruan Kalpage, head coach, Ruin Piris, assistant coach, Darshana Gamage, bowling coach, and Dhammika Sudarshana as the batting coach. And in the under 19s, we got Jehan Mubarak as the head coach, our good friend. Sampat Pereira, assistant coach and batting coach, and Chamila Gamage as the fast bowling coach, and Gayan Vijayakon as the fielding coach. They're all ex-Sri Lanka players. Some of them haven't played for Sri Lanka, but they're all good quality cricketers when they were playing, and most of them have good experience coaching club cricket and Lanka Premier League teams, and with working with Sri Lanka cricket as well. So that's very strong 3 coaching squads there.
Yeah, I think because these are 3 different or 4 teams. If you take the national team breakdown, I just have a feeling like the A team, that's a strong group of coaches. We were lucky to play against them as well and shared receipts with them. They've got a lot of, they love the game, they take it, and they know to switch on and switch off, which is a main part of cricket and enjoying it. There'll be a lot of banter among that group of coaches. With Kanda, Malinda, and even Veerakoon there. Upul Chandana is very light-hearted, so they'll have their bit of energy going through that group, and it'll be a good environment if it's a young group that is in that squad. They'll enjoy it. A lot of experience there. Emerging team as well. Ruan Kalpage is no new name into the coaching circuits. He's held fielding roles, spin bowling coach roles, and now back in through the emerging team. So it's slightly shuffled, but probably knows the setup. And I think he's got some good candidates who know supporting roles to go by him. So that'll help. In an emerging team, you need like a batting coach appointment is to be more skill-based, work on the technical side of things. That'll do well. Under 19, Muba, our friends doing the role there. That's another
professor.
Key professor is doing there at under 19 level. Good opportunity. But he also has some very seasoned campaigners who've held, strong coaching positions. And now they seem to be doing sub roles within that. So it'll be interesting how I think a small challenge for Muba would be to manage that group of coaches as well. Because Gayan Vijayakon, when I've played with him, he transitioned into a head coach role as well. I think he coached SC. Sampat Pereira is well-known schools coach in the circuits. Dick Weller's a small product of him and whatnot through Trinity.
He did
So
coach SSC and NCC as well. When I started playing
yeah,
club cricket, he did coach SSC, then he coached NCC as well. So, he's a seasoned campaigner.
I would have loved to see where Chamara Silva is in the coaching roles. I know he is part of. I know coaching he loves. Is an ambition for him as well. So um, he'll be another guy that I'll be keen to have in the circuit. He's got a role going around somewhere. Um, and I think Ajanta Mendis, Chamara Kapugederas
Yeah.
handling coaching roles back in Sri Lanka. So they'll be coming through the ranks. I just hope there's fast track into roles
Yeah.
because they offer a lot of value. Young can move around, whereas the newer generation comes through, they relate a lot to those, so they
Yeah.
can be around. So, but let's keep an eye out on what's happening. I guess Chris Silverwood's probably got his, team first. They probably has a bit of brainstorming sessions with his group of coaches that he wants to do work on. Then come Bangladesh, Sri Lanka are gonna be, playing against Bangladesh, and then Australia with four. I mean, the squads that are coming into the shows of Sri Lanka. That's the few short challenges that we have in front of us.
Yeah. No, you're right. Um, Maybe we should cut that bit about Chamara Silva, because if Aussie team hear about this, they might recruit him to be their
Yeah.
batting coach against spin bowling. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
cut that out.
Chalmers Silva did. I think he scored a debut 50 against Australia
He
in
did, yes,
in
yes,
the
yes.
one
In one
day.
day, in one day, yeah.
Yeah,
Early, no, like late 90s.
yeah, I think so.
Then he had to wait some time to get back into the team. But
Yeah,
yeah, nah, he's a fantastic player of spin. You must have you must have had a hard time bowling to him over the years, bro. And
was a
as a
shocker
fast
ball.
bowler, he's someone who will change things, and it's very hard. He's a very hard batsman to bowl at.
He's one of the guys. This is a small story that I think you played the game as well. Without playing NCC, playing CCC couple of years back when we were playing in Sri Lanka, and Tariq Kaushal was, small in his peak, or his first year was, getting wickets and whatnot. So Chamara Silva strives out to bat, and he was batting with, I can't remember who the non-striker was, but this is how street smart he is. He, like you say, he'll change things around. What he did was, he tells the partner, "Look, I'm batting a couple of steps in front, so the ball just, it has more time to turn, and so this is why the umpire can hear. So he's trying to just plant a small seed in the
Yep.
umpire's head. Think, look, the LBW is not in
He's
the
out of the
game, kind
way.
of. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so he was like little things like that, being street smart just to get a bit of an edge of it. And I think the domestic circuit he was such a seasoned campaign at the time, playing so much of cricket. He knew how to throw it away. I was lucky to play under him as part of the mercantile tournaments
Yeah, Unichella. Yeah.
at Unicella, and lots of respect for him. With what has achieved and what he would be such a value for the game in Sri Lanka overall.
His performance in the national team, some people criticize him, but when you look at the positions he's been batting
Yeah,
over his career, that's a hard
yeah,
spot to.
yeah. It was.
You come in at number 5, 6. Either you are
Yeah,
facing a situation where we are 3 down for 30 or something, or you just
yeah,
have to go all out attack. When you walk in, it'll be like you have 4 hours to go. So
yeah.
not the best place to bat in a one day team, but he has done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all those guys had to battle it out for that number 5 position back
Yeah.
in the time. That was only position open. So
That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You spoke a bit about our tour to Bangladesh. We're heading towards the end of this episode. Maybe we have a question from Hisham from Bangladesh about this tour to Bangladesh. Maybe we'll answer him and then close this episode, Bora.
Yeah, sounds good. Go for it.
Yeah, so Hisham from Bangladesh is saying, I recently started listening to your podcast and I binged a few episodes in a day. Oh, thank you. Thanks for that. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Especially the interviews. Yeah. Like to hear your predictions for Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh Test series. Do you want to go
2-0
first?
Sri Lanka.
So we are playing two Test matches, starting on 15th of May, I think. Yeah, two Test matches. I'm gonna say we'll win 1-0 because
What's that? Is it gonna rain out draw or with the pitchers out there? It's not gonna be a 5-day batting friendly draw out there. So
well,
um,
this is my scenario, right? I'm thinking, okay, they, they're gonna
yeah,
prepare a good wicket for the first Test match, and Nimut's gonna score big, and our spinners with Ramesh Mendis coming back into the team, gonna take the 20 wickets to win the first Test. Then the second Test, because they'll prepare, uh,
result.
yeah, and we'll held on to a draw. That's what I'm
I'm
thinking.
gonna go 2-0 Sri Lanka to win.
Oh, okay.
The scenario is we win the first game and they want a result and gonna be a it's gonna turn a lot. And then we'll play a few of our spinners and hopefully we'll get on top. So
Right.
but yeah, but we need a good off spinner going into that test series because of some of the Bangladesh batters being left-handed and
Others, yeah.
just um, another key guy is Mushfiku. He loves Sri Lanka and just need
Yeah.
to keep watch for his slog sweep and a sweep and try to counter that. I'll probably try to have Cow out straight away, play on his head a bit with that shot. So um, there are some interesting battles that will be there. But it'd be interesting. Will we take Dushmanta Chamir out there or
Well, we'll have
what
to.
will happen? So it'll depend. I mean, Chris Silverwood might have a different. He might spot a different player that he wants to be part of the campaign as well.
Yeah.
So
But him coming in, he's fresh to the job. I think he'll depend
on
on
the
the
local,
recommendation coming from the local coaches and the captain. So
yeah,
I'm
I think
guessing Dimut, I mean, if Dushmant is fit, I'm sure Dushmant and Lahiru Kumara both will be on that plane to Bangladesh. But Bangladesh fast bowlers, Bora, they have been bowling really well in the last couple of series against New Zealand and against South Africa as well. So I won't be surprised if they, as you said, prepare. Um, I don't know, maybe they'll leave something for their quicks, but that's why we had to take Dushpanta and Lahir Kumar in to
yeah.
Bangladesh. So it'll be interesting series. Uh, can't believe I'm saying this because growing up over the years against Bangladesh, it's like, oh, it's just we expect Sri Lanka to win the series. We expect Sri
Yeah.
Lanka to win all the games.
It's going to be a challenge. It'll be a good series. I think Sri Lanka going as bit underdogs at this
Yes, we
stage
are.
because
Yeah.
they are playing strong cricket. Um, Rangana Herat's in the Bangladesh camp in a
Yeah.
coaching role. He's done well there. They seem to have a stable coaching group there. So we've got, I mean, Navid Nawaz coming into the setup is a pretty good one before going to Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he's been the under 19 coach and been in part of that setup. So in terms of ground conditions, situations, or even the pattern of thinking, Navid Nawaz would be more familiar into it, which way the guys tend to go in, or what's their comfort zones, or when they're under pressure, what they tend to do. Navid Nawaz would be a lot more accustomed, or he'd know that. So he will share some of
Yeah.
those with the group. Um, so those are, I mean, that's international cricket with coaches moving on, like players moving into IPLs, getting to know their weakness, strengths. Now coaches are moving in circuits that kind of bring that across.
Yeah. Now you're spot on about Navid Nawaz Bora. He was the first coach. He was the first data-driven coach I worked with in Sri Lanka. And the year I played under him at SSC mid-season, he gave us like a report. What we've been doing, saying that this is what you've been doing up to this point of the season, and he asked us, okay, where do you want to end up into the season? So after the season, he another report about how I went about my bowling. Where did I take my wickets? Did I take more wickets with the new ball, or did I take more wickets with the older ball? And how many? There was a complete, what do you call, like a report card when you when you get after a term at school from a club coach. That was the first time I saw that. So Navid he's someone like that. He'll pay attention to these little details, as you said, and he worked there over the years, and he'll know, especially the young players, in and out, and he'll share those information, and that'll be an advantage for us. So 1-0 is my prediction, and you're saying 2-0, and we'll see. Yeah.
I guess Hisham probably goes 2-0 for Bangladesh, if he's
Yeah.
Bangladesh. So
All right. I think we should wrap it up there. Thank you for joining us today. And if you can give us a rating on your preferred podcast listening app, especially on Apple and Spotify, that'll be great, because that helps others like you to find this podcast.
We will add the links for our competition in the show notes, and if you check our social media, you'll find it on top of our timeline. Again, take part of it. It's, I mean, bloody Shiraz, so bloody gin to be won. So a good competition to be a part of. Not a lot of competition going around. So
Yeah,
and give us a like whilst you're at it.
absolutely. And once again, a big shout out to our sponsor, Four Pillars Gin. And we will add a link to their website so that you can check out their product range as well. So that's a wrap up from here. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.